Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miist back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video. Going to be talking about every movie and TV show I watched last week. I watched 15 movies. I finished a season of TV last week, and yeah, ultimately it was a very solid week. I'm sure, as you can tell by the thumbnail, I watched a lot of pretty big things this week. And although I didn't really get to stick to my theme of holiday Christmas movies like I would have liked, there was still snow involved in some of these movies. Now, firstly, I want to say happy holidays to anyone celebrating, hey, Christmas coming up and whatever else there is. Whatever. But yeah, again, happy holidays from us to you. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. Christmas coming up on Thursday this week, which is exciting. And yeah, I think we're all set to go for Christmas as well. We have lots and lots of plans. My parents are visiting from Ontario. And yeah, let's get into it. Let's start it off with the one and only season of TV that I watched last week, which was Welcome to Derry, and I finally finished it. I didn't get to finish it I didn't get to watch the episode on Sunday when it came out last week, so was able to do it this week, and man, what a fantastic show. What an opening season. What a fantastic episode, or fantastic series. A lot of these episodes are really, really fantastic. The first one I really enjoyed, and then the last two were truthfully some of the best TV I've watched in a long time. I think they were really, really incredible. They were really awesome, and I really, really enjoyed them. And I had a great, great time with this series. And although I do probably think this is better than any of the It movies we have, we'll talk about that shortly. But yeah, I ranked this season a 93 out of 100. I'm fucked. Jesus Christ. Anyways, I ranked it a 93 out of 100. Let's get on to the next. Let's start it off with my movies of the week. And the definitely by far my least favorite watch of the week is Inland Empire, which I ranked a 9 out of 100. Ultimately, it's just one of my one of my least favorite things. Why can't I speak? Sorry, it's one of my least favorite things that I've watched ever. This is absolutely dreadfully hard to sit through. There are some moments where I felt some anxiety and some fear. It is kind of a horror movie, but ultimately this is just genuinely one of the hardest things I've ever had to endure, and I did not enjoy this, and I'm very sorry, David Lynch, but yeah, this is not for me, to say the least. Let's move on to Dr. Sleep, which one of the themes of the week was Stephen King. Dr. Sleep was my least favorite. This is actually one of my least favorite adaptations of all time from Stephen King. It didn't even really feel like a Stephen King adaptation, I found, and ultimately I didn't really care for this movie much, considering there's quite a few cast members in this movie that I really enjoy. Rebecca Ferguson, Ewan McGregor, to name a few. But yeah, ranked as 56 out of 100. I just really didn't enjoy it. Let's move on to Strangers on a Train, which truthfully I didn't really give this a fair shot. I just didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it, as well as I finished it in 3 sittings. I just didn't get a chance to give this movie a fair watch. Ranked it a 60 out of 100 though. I think it's my least favorite Hitchcock, but it's still a decent movie. Let's move on to Avatar Fire and Ash, which similarly to Inland Empire was another snore fest. I rewatched Avatar The Way of Water a couple months ago now in IMAX 3D, and I fucking loved it. It was amazing. Seeing it in IMAX 3D seeing it in IMAX is far better than seeing it on, any other theater, any other screen. This I also seen in 3D IMAX, but I didn't feel like it looked as good as Avatar The Way of Water, and ultimately I just didn't enjoy this film. It felt very bland, it felt very long, it felt very boring, and truthfully I just wasn't engaged in this film at all. I really just didn't even feel like being at the theater while watching it, so I don't know if that's my fault or if that's the movie's fault, but I would like to give this another shot someday, but not right now. Ranked at 62 out of 100, and yeah, just didn't enjoy it. Let's move on to Nobody 2, which I ranked a 66 out of 100. I'm a pretty big fan of the first Nobody. This is decent. It's not a great movie by any means. I kind of love the theme park aesthetic and setting. It's just fun, but ultimately, it's a fine movie. Ranked at 66 out of 100. All right, let's move on to how I started the week with Train Dreams, which I ranked at 73 out of 100. Perhaps one of the most beautiful films of the year. Really, really gorgeous movie to watch. This is something I would like to rewatch as well because I think I could emotionally connect to this more and more each time watching. And yeah, this is a really beautiful movie, and I think, like I said, I could enjoy this more with two very fantastic performances leading it as well. Joel Edgerton is amazing, and Felicity Jones is also fantastic. And yeah, I had a really good time with Train Dreams. I think it's a very underrated 2025 movie, mostly because it's a Netflix release. It's not that popular yet. I hope it will be someday because I think it definitely deserves that. But overall, ranked at a 73 out of 100. Let's move on to The Christmas Chronicles, which is like Mel's favorite Christmas movie of all time. We didn't get to watch the second one. Maybe we'll watch it this week. We did watch it a couple years ago. We didn't watch it last year. It might just be like a tradition for us, but overall, it's a fun movie. It's so random, but it's so fun. And I actually raised my rating up to an 80 out of 100, so it was solid. I enjoyed it. Let's move on to It Chapter 2. And before we talk about It Chapter 2, we unfortunately got some sad news today that James Ransom did pass away today, who is obviously a big portion of this movie. He's one of my favorite characters in this movie as Eddie, and I've had kind of like a James Ransom past like couple of months as well, watching Sinister, both Black Phones, It Chapter 2, and a couple other movies of Old Boy and Inside Man this year. So that kind of sucks. I really wasn't expecting to hear that news today, and obviously it's very sad. So my prayers to him and his family. I hope they're going to be okay throughout the holiday season. So let's talk about It Chapter 2, which I still really enjoy this movie, and I know I enjoy this movie more than most people do. I ranked it an 82 out of 100. I still have a good time with it. I think it's really fun, and ultimately, I think, although it is probably too long and there's not enough Pennywise, I still really enjoy it, and I have a good time, and I love the cast. I love the moments we get with the kids as well. And overall, it's just a fun movie, in my opinion. I really enjoy it. Rated at 82 out of 100. Let's move on to Pokemon Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. Lucario is my favorite Pokemon. This is a movie that I've seen many times when I was younger. I love this movie. I love Sinnoh. Peak. Lucario is peak. Rated at 82 out of 100. Let's move on to Song Sung Blue, which is a brand new movie, not even out yet. And I got lucky enough to go see it with a Cineplex Monday surprise premiere, which is something Cineplex does every once in a while now. They throw on a premiere. I was hoping it was going to be Marty Supreme. It was Song Sung Blue, which I really enjoyed. This movie is far more depressing than I would have ever imagined. It was a very sad movie, but I had a great time with this. And Kate Hudson and Hugh Jackman both put on two of my favorite performances of the year, which I both really enjoyed, and I thought they were both very, very memorable in this film as well. The music is awesome. Never really thought about Neil Diamond before until this movie, but I really enjoyed it, and that was a lot of fun. So I'm excited to rewatch this sometime with Mel, probably in the next couple weeks. Anyways, 85 out of 100, great movie. Let's move on to Spider-Man No Way Home, which I ranked an 86 out of 100, and Mel and I did watch on its birthday this year on December 18th, a couple days ago. This movie gets worse every time I watch it. I don't know what to say. Every time I watch it, it gets worse, I think. There's some really great moments in this movie that I really enjoy, but ultimately, I like it less and less every time I rewatch it, which is why I want to try and savor my feelings towards it and not rewatch it so often. But I really plan on going through the entirety of the MCU next year, and I'll have to rewatch this, and who knows what my ranking may look like then. Let's move on to The Shining, which I got to see in IMAX for the 45th anniversary, which is pretty sweet. I did enjoy it less than previously. I ranked it, I believe, a 95 last year when I watched it. Ranked it a 92 this time. I think it is a really amazing movie, obviously, but I think it's really slow within the first hour, or within like the first hour and a half, maybe even. The last hour is really exceptional. The music in this movie is very exceptional as well. And obviously, I mean, Jack Nicholson is great, and ultimately, it's just a great movie, obviously, ranked at a 92 out of 100. It's still very, very good. I just think it's not as good as I once thought it was. Let's move on to the top three of the week, starting it off with F1. Definitely the most not Christmas movie, not winter movie of the bunch. Ranked at a 97 out of 100. It really shot up for me. I really enjoyed the film the first time around, watching it in IMAX. Seeing it again, I enjoyed it even more, and it shoots up the list back into my top 4 of the year. And I'm very intrigued to see what my 2025 top 5 is going to look like by the end of the year. It's very possible this is going to be number 2 or 3 now. So I'm excited to see what that looks like. And overall, I just really love this movie. And I know some people don't, but it's actually my 60th 5-star on Letterboxd now as well. So that's iconic. Let's move on to another new 5-star, which is It. It has been a movie that I've always loved. Really my intro into the horror genre when I was 15 or 16 years old. And I've always loved this movie. I think I will always love this movie. And I think this 5-star review is really a long time coming for me because of how much I do love this movie. And I think it's just about time it earns that rating. And ultimately, I had a great time with this. Although, again, I want to say that It Welcome to Derry is probably the best thing in this franchise. I have such a soft spot for this, but I wouldn't be surprised if when I rewatch the show, I will like it more than this movie. I really wouldn't be surprised by that at all. But let's move on to my favorite watch of the week, which I watched on December 16th, 2025 with Mel. We were feeling kind of MCU-y this week. Watched Captain America Civil War, which it's great. It's fantastic. It's my favorite. It's probably my favorite written MCU movie, and it's the best written MCU movie in my opinion. A perfect 100 out of 100, and I had a great time rewatching it. So, anyways, thank you guys all so much for watching. Again, happy holidays to you all, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.